Hello Benefit family, you're welcome again to my channel. I go by the name Manka Huda slash the Benefit Girl. In this channel, we talk on everything that will help us as a youth to develop our world or our country or our environment according to the will of God. So you are welcome again to this amazing channel. To those seeing this face for the very first time, you are welcome and may God bless you. My returning subscribers are welcome eventually, and you know I love you all very much, but God loves you more. So today we'll be talking again about another amazing relationship talk. In our last video, we said it was going to be the last video concerning the relationship talk, but in the days ahead, this Benefit Girl here got more inspired about the relationship talk, and today we are going to be talking about how a Benefit youth can enjoy his or her single life. How can I enjoy my single life as a youth? Besides, this video has been titled Happily Single, meaning that you are supposed to enjoy your single life. As long as you are single on this earth, you are supposed to enjoy it. So we are going to kick start now, shall we? You are welcome again to this channel. As I said, this video today has been entitled Happily Single, meaning as a youth, you are supposed to enjoy your single life on earth. And I'll start by saying that every single person on this earth was born for a specific purpose. And as a youth, you are supposed to know the purpose for which you were born or you were sent to this earth. And it is not when you are old that you will know that purpose. No, you have to figure out that purpose when you are young. That is the period in which your mind is still fresh. You have a lot of time to develop yourself. You have a lot of time to know more about yourself. You have a lot of time to build the confident person, to build an amazing person that God had planned you to be. And it is not when, I say it again, it is not when you are old that you will put all those characters in you. You have to build yourself as a single, beginning from realizing the purpose for which you are on earth. And also, as a Benefit youth or as a youth in this generation, you have to equally learn in your single years the purpose for marriage, or in other words, the purpose for a relationship. I would like to say that marriage is like a school. They usually say it is the only education that you receive your certificate before you start schooling eventually. Other schools and other programs, you are being trained for a specific period of time before you are being given a certificate. But marriage is the only program that is different and specific in its way. You are being given a certificate before you get eventually into the program. So marriage is not something that we are supposed to play with. Marriage is something that was built and instituted by God. And as a youth, you have to learn the various aspects of marriage, and you have to endeavor that you do marriage according to God's will. We are going to go back into the foundation or into the background from where marriage originated. We know that God was the author and He is the one who instituted marriage. And the first two people that He grouped together as husband and wife was Adam and Eve, and they were supposed to do marriage according to God's will. So before we get into marriage, everything on this earth has one or two processes involved in. You will not just get up one day and you find yourself into a marriage that you have to live with someone for the rest of your life that you don't know. No, marriage has a step-by-step process. And the first process of getting into marriage is you have to befriend the person that you are planning or you are seeing yourself to get into marriage with. You have to befriend that person. You have to get to know more about that person, and you have to learn the weak points and strengths of that individual, and you will not learn this when you are old or when you are already involved in the marriage. No, that is why I said marriage is a step-by-step process, and there are a lot of steps that are involved in this program called marriage. And the second aspect, or the second step, is you get into a relationship, and that's what we have been talking about for the first videos that have passed. Please, if you haven't watched any of my videos concerning a relationship talk, please go and watch them now. In fact, you can pause this one and you go and watch the relationship talk 1, 2, I think 3 before you watch this one, because you will get to learn more about the relationship talk. So as a youth, you have to form yourself in the relationship aspect. You have to know who are you, what are the characteristics of your partner, what are the goals and vision of this relationship. You know, many youths nowadays just get into relationship without having the goals and vision, without having to plan, without even having the intention of getting married at the end of that relationship. I was watching a video the other day and I saw 2 young people, a girl and a boy, who were seriously involved in a relationship. And at one point, the guy was like, this relationship has been for 3 to 4 years now, so can we take it to the next level? And the girl was like, no, I have no intentions of getting married. Then why do you keep the boy in that relationship? Why do you stop that guy in a relationship? You would have told him that, no, I'm not involved, I don't have any intention of getting married, and then he would have freed himself and either look for a different person that will be serious in the relationship and has the goal of marriage, than to keep him in that relationship. But let me ask you this question: why seriously do you get into a relationship that you have no plans of getting married? Because in my own opinion, I think relationship is like an introduction to knowing a partner which will end up in marriage. So if you don't have any intention of getting married, why do you get into a relationship? And besides, in my very first video of a relationship talk, I made us to understand that not every individual is or supposed to get married. You can still live your single life and you acquire and achieve everything you have hoped for in this life. So it's not every individual, or it's not every person that must get married, that must be involved in a relationship. You can be alone and you still fulfill all what you plan to do, all what you have planned for yourself. You can still fulfill them being a single individual. So we are going to keep start on how can a single youth enjoy his or her single life as a youth. The first advice we have here is use your single life to understand what relationship and marriage is. As I earlier said, marriage has a background, it has a foundation, and you have to ensure that you use the manual, because I believe the scriptures of God has been the manual that has been set for us to rightly manage our marriage life. So you have to ensure that you are doing marriage according to God's way. And you cannot do marriage according to God's way if you haven't put in your time and energy to study what this marriage and relationship it's all about. Relationship period is the moment in which you get to understand who your spouse is, his weak points, his strength, what he likes, his dislikes, everything that concerns your spouse. You have to do this in your single years, and if you don't do this in your single years, you will eventually have a failure in your marriage. Your marriage is going to break out at a certain point. Why? Because you did not use your single years efficiently, and you did not study what marriage or what relationship is all about in your single years. So please, benefit youth, use your single years. And that is what I am crying out to God in my day-to-day life now, that He should grant me the grace to learn everything that I have to learn in my single years. Let me tell you, benefit fam, the worst thing that can happen to a benefit youth, or that can happen to a youth that is getting into marriage, is that you get into marriage and at the end of it fails and you get to divorce, or that marriage gets to break or scatter. That is the worst thing that can happen. Please use your single years now to build a solid foundation for your marriage, so that at the end you will not get to experience what most of our parents experience. I believe many homes that are broken now, many marriages that are being destroyed now, is because they do not have to plan. They didn't plan their single years correctly. And at times you will hear your parents say, I wish I knew this thing before I got married, and I wish I knew how to solve problems, how to understand my spouse, how to do this before I got married. Why do they say that? That is because the period of your singlehood is very important, and that is the period that you have to develop your marriage. You have to develop yourself. You have to understand what marriage is all about. We all know that they always say, if you don't plan to succeed, you are planning to fail. So please, let's not be planning to fail. Let's instead plan to succeed. Okay? The next advice that we are going to be getting on how to enjoy your single years as a youth is, your single years is when you create your vision and mission. I'll take an example of a business. A business is a program that involves a lot of aspects equally. And before you start a business, you have to have your vision and your mission statement. So, what do you plan before getting into a relationship or into a marriage? That is the goals and objectives you are supposed to set in your single life. You are supposed to set in your single life, what are my visions? What are my mission? What are my objectives? What do I have to acquire as a youth before I get into heavier or bigger objectives? What are the little ones I have to do? Let us use our single years to develop ourselves. You can say in the next 3 months I must have finished reading, like our parents usually put us on this program, 3 months program, to read our Bible, New Testament to be specific, in 3 months. That is a short-term objective that we have put. So we have to ensure that as youth, besides, as a youth, you have more time to learn and read and build yourself and equip your mind with positive things that will enable you to grow the right way. Most parents face it very difficult to study their Bibles or to read this amount of books in 3 months or in 2 months, because they don't have time when they are old. They have a lot of things, a lot of activities that they have to involve themselves in. Why you as a youth, you still have time. So why don't you use your time judiciously? Build yourself as a youth. Okay? The third advice we are going to have on how to enjoy a single years as a youth is, find a couple you truly admire, who is already living the vision you already have for marriage. There are many couples out there that are living marriage the godly way, that have passed through the relationship process the godly way. We have the Winlows, we have, for example, we have the Winlows, we have the Stalwart Lovers, we have We have a lot of couples out there that even my parents are one of these couples that I admire a lot in their marriage, and I am doing all things possible to be better than who they are now. If you find someone that is living the marriage life you have planned for yourself, you are going to learn a lot from them. You will not only allow yourself to study on your own, but they will help you to get what you want in the future. They can be your mentors, they can mentor you, they can hold your hand, they can teach you a lot of things that will help you enjoy your single lives. It's true you can do it alone, you can build yourself alone, but it will be more easier for you if you have someone you look up to as an example. You have to have someone you look up to as an example, and when you copy exactly what they do, trust me, you have to enjoy your marriage or your relationship as you had planned. And let me tell you this, no two marriages or no two relationships are the same thing. Marriage A and marriage B will never be the same thing. The factors that contributed to the success of marriage A might not be the same factors that will contribute to the success of marriage B. So look up to people that will help you achieve what you have planned for your marriage. Okay, I would like you to know that a successful relationship or a successful marriage is intentional. Intentional means you are willing, like the example I gave of the girl that was involved in a relationship but had no intention of getting married. I might say that girl was not intentional in the relationship, because if you are intentional, you will do everything possible to make the relationship work, and not only for it to work, but it should get to its end objective, that is marriage. So please, your relationship should be intentional. What you put into it, all the strength, all the energy you put into it should not go to waste because you were not intentional or because you are not serious about it. If you know you won't be serious in a relationship, do not stalk some other person in that relationship. Please, I plead of us, let us be intentional in everything we do. Let us be intentional in our relationships. Let us be intentional in our marriage, and they will all succeed. Remember, your marriage will be successful only if you are intentional about everything you are doing. Okay? Another advice of how you can enjoy your single life as a youth is, you have to understand the importance and role of yourself in a relationship. Understand what you have to put into that relationship. Ask yourself, what are the things I have to do? What are the things I have to put into this relationship for it to be successful? I believe every woman or every lady or every girl has a role to play in it, in the success of a relationship, as well as every man, every boy has a role to play in a relationship. A relationship should not be a one-sided issue or thing. No, it involves two people, and those two people have to put in everything they have for it to work. So you have to learn your various roles while you are single. It's not, I have said this again and again, it's not when you will get into the real program that is a marriage that you will start figuring out your role to play in that marriage. No, you have to start learning the various roles you have to play in a relationship, in a marriage, as a youth, as being single. When you are single, that is when you build a solid foundation by learning the various roles you have to play, by learning the various things you have to put in your marriage or in your relationship for it to succeed. Let us not make a relationship one-sided, because if it is one-sided, the other side will eventually fall, and when it falls, the relationship or marriage is destroyed. So if you don't want your marriage to be destroyed, please learn your various roles, learn what you have to do, what you have to put in place as a youth or in your single years, so that you will end up enjoying your marriage. The next point is understand the role of love in a relationship. This is an important aspect equally, because love has a strong impact in relationship. Besides, it's love that brings two partners together. So you have to learn how to understand your partner's love language. You have to learn how you can better express your love to your partner, and he or she will not be hurt. There are some people that the manner in which they express love to their partner is not the manner in which that partner wants or love to be expressed to him or her. So it is in your single years that you learn how to express love to your partner. And the book of, we're going to get again into a relationship manual, into a marriage manual, which is the scriptures. And the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 13 makes us to understand how love is supposed to be expressed. They say love is patient. I would like you to read it in your own version. Love is patient. So you have to learn how to be patient in your marriage, and you will not learn it but when you are already in the marriage. No, you learn it being a single. You have to learn how to be patient. You have to learn how to be kind. You have to learn how to be good. You have to learn how not to hold grudges against your partner. You have to learn this. You have to learn that. That Bible verse will enable you to know how love is supposed to be expressed, how love is supposed to function, how love is supposed to work. And you will eventually learn this efficiently in your single years before getting into marriage. Okay? The next advice on how we can live our single lives happily is stop overly obsessing about getting married. Remember, I said it's not everyone that has the intention of getting married, and not everyone eventually will end up getting married. Focus on your life. Focus on your goals as a single person. Focus on your objective. Focus on the purpose for which God sent you on this earth. Focus on what you have to carry out. Focus on your education. You have a lot of things that will keep you occupied as a youth, and which will enable you not to overthink about the marriage life. It's not being married that will build in you that person you are supposed to be in future. It's not when you get married that you learn how to cook, or when you learn how to do laundry, or you learn how to be independent. No. It's in your single years that you learn how to be independent. You learn how to do all these activities. So remove that obsession from your head about marriage. The marriage will come the right time, the time that the Lord has planned it to come. It will eventually happen. It will eventually come. So don't overput your mind on getting married. If you put your mind on getting married, you will not achieve the things you were supposed to learn or acquire in your single years. Please, let's not miss these single years. It's in these single years that you have a lot of things to learn. Let's not miss our single years because of the marriage obsession. Please, youths, let's put our marriage years into work. Okay? Again, focus on being the best of yourself. Forget about marriage. I've said it again. It will come the right time. But in your single years, focus on being the best. Focus on building yourself. Focus on putting in a lot of energy, a lot of work on yourself. And you will enjoy yourself the more when the marriage comes according to God's will. Focus on yourself and prepare for the marriage ahead of you. The last advice on how we can enjoy a single life as a youth is always pray for God to lead. Always pray for God to guide us. We cannot do anything on this earth without God. We cannot grow ourselves. We cannot learn. We cannot be the best of ourselves as a youth without the help of God. God is a helper. He works with us at every point in our life. So why should it be your relationship life that He will not guide you? If you put it in your relationship life, if you use the manual He has given to you as a mirror of your relationship and marriage, your marriage will eventually be a success. So please, let's put God in everything we do. Let's put God in our single lives. Pray at all times that He will grant you the grace to learn everything you have to learn it in your single years. This is, I don't know how, if you are understanding me, this is a strong foundation we have to build as youth. And you cannot build this foundation if God is not involved in it. Please benefit fam, please benefit give, benefit God. Let us involve God in our every activity, in our single lives, in our married life. Let's involve God to guide our steps, to guide our visions, to guide us, and let us ask Him the grace to help us learn everything, every single thing, every little thing, the minor ones, the great ones, the large ones, every activity, everything we have to learn in our single years before getting into marriage. Let God help us. Let us not miss any of these things, because if you miss any, you will bear the consequences later. So it is only God that can help us to learn everything we have to learn in our single years. So let us build ourselves in our single years. Let us be the best in our single years. Let us live our single years according to the will of God. And our single years will be the best years of our lives. We have come to the end of this video. I hope this video was a blessing to you. I hope this relationship talk episode or series has been a good one for you. I hope you learned one or two things in this video. Please, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe now. Those watching and benefiting a lot from this channel and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe now. Give a like to this video, and till I come your way, keep loving, keep believing. With Christ we can do all things. Bye.